Come with me to garden in the summer heat. Listen, sometimes we're not changing. There's work to be done. So, my garden has really been self sufficient this year, to say the least. Our summers here in zone 8A/slash 8B have been very, very brutal as far as the heat goes. We've had weeks of heat and we've had days of rain. Typically, by now, I would have put up my shade cloth to help reduce the amount of rays that the sun gives off to the garden, because if it's too hot, all of those heat loving vegetables will begin to drop their fruit, which means it's so hot that it can't even effectively produce what it needs to produce. So, how do I combat this? The first thing I do is I double water, not just myself, but also my garden. I will water either early in the mornings and then as well as later in the evenings. The second thing that I do, I go ahead and I start to fill in my garden. Yes, I love to grow some things from seed, but there are just some items that if I see that they are not producing the way that I want them to produce, I don't want to spend time sowing them from seed. I would rather grab a transplant, plop it into my garden after I do some composting and amending. The second thing that I try to do, I try to manage the weeds that are taking place in my garden as much as possible. So I do cardboard mulching, and then I also will have a weed blocker down. But as you can see, sometimes the weeds, they break through, they are determined, but sometimes you have to tackle your garden in chunks. I wish I had a picture perfect garden. Currently at this day, I do not, but I have a harvest ready garden, and that's what matters the most to me. So, as I am doing maintenance in my garden, I'm also amending my soil, I'm doing compost, I'm doing fertilizer, and I am planting my transplants. Mainly because with this growing season, some of the things that I would prefer to grow from seed, like my jalapeno plants, my basil, my squash, some of them require a lot more starting time than I have in my growing season. So whether you have to start it by seed, get a transplant, grow in containers, grow bags, raised bed, whatever you need to do to make the garden work for you, that's what I would encourage you to do. And the third thing is make sure that you are getting as much rest and hydration as you need so that you can continue to grow alongside your garden. Even if you have to transplant because you don't have time to sow it by seed, a garden will still bounce back and give you the harvest that you've worked so hard to get.